Everyone, hi. Bruce Munson, LCSW, Sunridge, Nevada, coming at you with another video breakdown. We talked a while before, we were going to shoot more, and this is the first one, and I believe you guys are going to enjoy it. As always, for those who have not heard of me or know what my style is, I like to break down music, movies, and sports clinically and give you my clinical perspective. I've been an LCSW now for close to 30 years. Um, this concept though, is I only like to break down the lines that I think are significant, like clinically significant. So when I go through, I let people know what parts of the song I'm going through. I like to use a video if there's one release, but not a lot of times. Guys just don't want to do that. People, it's expensive, whatever it is, but they give you other cues. So the artist I'm covering today is someone named Joey Badass, and the song is called Speeding Through the Rain. And even before I get started, I got to throw a shout out to my manager slash producer, because right before we were about to start, he wants to go over everything with me. The man is a genius and incredibly always very, very well prepared. And he brought out some examples, which I'm going to give him credit for, which I had not even thought about, but it just will enhance the understanding of the song and how I see it. Ironically, not ironically, because I know the name, I've done other songs from his circle, particularly Capital Steez, the Brooklyn guy. So there is some Brooklyn references in here that I'm going to break down also that I recognize, and just to clarify the song and provide some history to what he's doing. So here we go. Song is Speeding Through the Rain. Now, what my producer pointed out, which I hadn't really thought about, was what I had made a comment about. There's no video, but just the artwork that accompanies it. You have this figure that is dripping. It's not like a complete figure. It's not a figure of any kind of form recognizable. And it's also dripping. And what's interesting also is you have the glasses, but they're almost like they look like they're tinted. And you're not, and almost like it's like a mask, and even the smile, like kind of like the Joker smile. And you're kind of wondering what's behind the mask. Who is this person? What is this person? Male, female? You don't really get a sense of anything. But already from the very beginning, it's a jarring look at someone, to me, hiding behind their feelings. So here we go. The lyrics are great, but it's spoken and it's sung almost in an exhausted tone, like very like up and down, like I'm laboring. And that's kind of how I got the beginning of the music that accompanies the song. Now, in the intro, you have this comment, speeding through the rain. This is the first of 8 times he uses this reference. Speeding through the rain, goddamn rain, speeding through the rain. To me, this is a very significant statement, almost at the very, very beginning, because it regards water, like clean me, cleanse me, trying to get past. It's a hidden message. Even the comment, which my producer made also, speeding through the rain, think about that for a second. Why would you want to speed through the rain? What's the purpose? What's the value? Speeding through the rain, hey, you know what? Going to go 70 miles? I'm going to go down to 30. I'm going to take a curve at 50 miles. I'll take it at 20. Water on the road, that's so scary. You always want to give yourself more distance from cars, anything in front of you and behind you, because people can get hurt very easily when you're speeding through the rain. So it's almost like you're deliberately putting yourself into danger just by doing that. So why do you have to speed through the rain? How about speed limit through the rain? Would have been a different title, but a different metaphor and a different perspective on the song itself. Then you have the chorus. Pedal to the metal on the road to the riches, which is also said multiple times. And then he throws down pit stop at the mosque real quick. Again, this is also said several times. I think it's up to 3 at the end. So he's talking about the need to find some kind of validity via religion, which is fine. But already he's telling you, I'm so unhappy that I'm driving recklessly. And at the same time, I need something to give me some kind of substance, some kind of religion that can ground me, so to speak. Then he goes, first time for this one, I'm on Satan's highway hellbound. Okay, so you're speeding through the rain because you're on Satan's highway. So the only speed that's allowed is to be reckless, hellbound, meaning I'm looking to get myself killed. So you're saying these things because this is how you're feeling about that time. Then, time for a little history lesson, guys. The kid from Bucktown. Okay, and it's funny because Bucktown is a slang term for Brooklyn, where I'm actually from. So it's the word Smith and Wesson. Now we know Smith and Wesson refers to a handgun, but it also refers to the hip hop anthem in 1994 by a group called Smith SMIF and Wesson WWESSUN. It's referring to these guys. And he then, and also when he said the word Bucktown, which is slang for Brooklyn, you're talking about, you hear this word Stuyvesant and Bedford. That's not how people from Brooklyn talk. They say Bed-Stuy. Bed-Stuy, Bedford Avenue, and Stuyvesant. You never say that. You say, where are you from? I'm from Bed-Stuy. Oh, you're from Bed-Stuy. Automatically, I know where you are. I know exactly that neighborhood. I've been there when I was hundreds of times when I was a kid, teenager. And it also refers to the Flatbush areas of Brooklyn, like Crown Heights. And indirectly, Joey is from East Flatbush, which is another neighborhood in Brooklyn. Okay. Then he talks about being on a certain bus. And he used to take the B41 to Avenue J. It was called the MTA. It's the bus line in New York. I took that bus long time ago. But I actually took that line to get to Avenue J. It's just kind of funny. Then he gets more internal. He goes, sometimes I wish that I could put the past, this is in verse 1, that I could put the past in my GPS because I want to see where I once was and where I came from, and I want to go back to the beginning. Who am I? What is my identity? Who am I as a person? And then, still on verse 1, he throws in, I've been suffering from PTSD. Wow. You think success, financial freedom, adulation, being able to go to the front court of a Knicks game, the front row of a Knicks game, and just like you got everything going for you. But I'm suffering from PTSD. And then, interesting, and again, credit to my producer, because I had a little bit different shade. 5% tints, I'm hiding my shame. Yeah, his windows, they're all tinted. Why? What are you hiding? You're hiding from yourself because you don't want to see anybody peeking in and looking at you. But that's such a common refrain from people that we've covered, not necessarily with windows in a car, but with their sunglasses, wearing the shades. After in the 50s, when rock and roll became, huge, everything became like, why are they wearing sunglasses? Movie stars, people always with the sunglasses. I don't want you to look at my eyes because the eyes are the window to the soul. I don't want that to happen because I'm not comfortable. Speeding through the rain 4 times. Pedal to the metal a second time. Pit stopped at the mosque the second time. Satan's highway. I'm on Satan's highway hellbound looking for my exit. Again, the second time. Then he throws down the kid from Bucktown, the kid from Brooklyn. Make them blank, bow, bow, bow. This was the hip-hop duo, again, of Smith & Wesson, and they were members, Tech and General Steel. This is a 94 song from the album Bucktown. It was a homage to people that came from Brooklyn. And the beginning, or the opening, or the blossoming of, because a lot of the great music came out of Brooklyn. No shock, it's Brooklyn. And then you have verse 2. Because when blank trying to ridicule you, pull your spirit out, the physical, your body's a vehicle. You're always having to deal with jealousy and people that will stab you in the back. This is going to go back into my end when I talk about what friendship is and what family is. They're not your friends. They want to stab you in the back and they want to ridicule you. It's not your friends. Those aren't your people. So who are your friends? When I do public speaking and I ask that question, I get the same answer. One, maybe two people. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And devils want to get in this on verse 2 and drive you out of your blank mind. Yeah, your demons, your worst impulsive, your self-destructive behaviors get inside you. And quite frankly, they want to make you crazy, drive you out of your mind. Then one last reference, one last history lesson when he says speeding down to 95. Yeah, that's called the I-95. It starts in Maine. It goes all the way to Miami. And people from New York will say, I'm taking the I-95. They know exactly. Not going to stop between anywhere else but Miami. But you say, I'm going on I-95, I-95. Oh, okay. When are you going to be in Miami? That was always a phrase that people would use. So with the Glock 9, this is on verse 2, passenger side. Who does he need the gun for? He needs the gun for himself. He's protecting himself from himself. I need the Glock because I don't know who I am. I need the gun to chase away the demon in my head. Almost a reference for suicidal thinking. And when you see people like having to have guns, I'm not against guns, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when you have to carry something for the sake of carrying something, who you're carrying it for, you're really carrying it for yourself because you're not happy. Then in the chorus, pedal to the metal. Third time, because how do I get there? What's the price? I'm pedaling to the metal. What's the metal going to say? Self-destructive behavior, first place. You got the gold. And then pit stop at the mosque real quick. Third time again, I need something to hold on to. Going further down on the chorus, I'm on Satan's highway hellbound looking for my exit. No matter what I drive, no matter how fast I drive, no matter how quick I'm trying to get through a dangerous situation, it's not fast. Why do you think people they do things with the drinking and the drugs and not sleep? They don't want to deal with reality. They don't want to deal with their life. So I'm running. I'm driving. Why do you think so many suicides are in cars? Where they slip off the side of the road, where they drown themselves because you're trying to hide and you think if you disappear in another realm, it's going to change. It doesn't. Then 3 times, I'm Satan's highway. No matter what I drive, it's never fast enough to leave all my problems behind. It's the faster the car, the more likely you are to hurt yourself. They're not getting a Toyota, Corolla. It's always to go faster and faster, to cheat death, to look death in the eye, because you're not happy. And then finally, the last time, Smith & Wesson. Yeah, that duck down is a double entree for firearm. And again, Duck Down Records, which was the producers of a lot of that great music that came out of Brooklyn in the late 90s. So everything here is he's referencing things. It's almost like history. It was to me to read those lines. And by the way, again, he is from East Flatbush, which is a neighborhood in Brooklyn. Finally, last page, and that was on the outro. Sorry. It goes 5 times again. Speeding through the rain 6, speeding through the rain 8 times. That's how he's closing this. And here's how I want to close this. Great song. He's a great artist. There was a great crew that came out of there. And one of them was one of my favorites, Capital Steez, another Brooklyn guy. Here's the thing, though. You're trying to come to the end. There is no end. No matter how fast I drive, I can't outrun my past. You need to look at your life now. And you need to say to yourself, what am I accomplishing? Because I'm at the end. How did I do? How did I live my life? Did I live it with as someone I'm proud to look in the mirror? Or did I take shortcuts? And I'm embarrassed to face myself. And I'm going to go back again. I'm going to close with this about friendships. We stress from our videos how important family is. and how important it is to be a good father, be a good mother, be a good husband, be a good wife. Because so many of the people that have written to us, the hundreds of thousands of comments that we've gotten are about dysfunction. Dysfunction in the family, dysfunction in the unit, dysfunction as a parent. So we always say, please be better than you are. Be a great parent. You know, I'm so impressed with my producer / agent. He's an amazing father, incredible father. And I see the results every time I come over here and I meet his kids. They're a reflection of him. He got a great wife too. I'm not arguing, but it's just really an impressive example of what a father should be. And the kids reflect that. But at the same time, when friendships, who are your friends? Trying to go to the gym regularly and stay in shape. I've met guys, just been talking about bodybuilding and lifting, this and that. And some really tough situations that they've been through. Plus, they look at the gym as a healthy way to let off steam and blah, blah, blah. They've made friends where these guys have my back. They're out for me. They look out for me. If I needed them, they're going to be there. Friendship are guys, again, I'm sure it comes with girls too, where you truly have a connection. And that's what I want you to think about going forward is who are my real friends that if I need them, that they're there. Because your true friends are there when you start at the bottom and when you get to the top and you have your inevitable slide because things always change, good and bad, that they're still there for you. These fake friends are the ones that only get you at the top, want to suck you dry. And then when something happens, they bounce you. That's what I want you to think about. So when you put a comment in, talk about that. Who are your friends? What have you learned about yourself as you've gotten older? We tend to skew young because of the type of work that we do. But, are they true friends, fake friends, media friends? And are they there for you in a crisis? So again, but then when you have friends, make sure they're real. Thanks, guys. Bruce Muffs, LCSW, Sunridge, Nevada.